So I've worked with children for most of my life now, starting in 1993, shortly after freshman year in college, and it's something I've always wanted to do, something I've always felt at ease when I was doing. I've worked at a lot of nonprofits, and in fact met my first wife. Yes, my first wife at a YMCA back in 1998. Now, she also worked with children, hence how we met. And it's something we had talked about having our own for some time. Unfortunately, we hadn't met with any sort of success. So we were making efforts. She was making efforts with a doctor to see what some of the issues were. I never got myself tested. And I always told myself and anyone else who asked that it was really because my wife's state of mind was so fragile that if she ever knew for sure that it was her fault that we couldn't have children, that I just didn't believe that she'd be able to handle that. When in fact, I know now, and I probably knew then, that it was really my fragile state of mind, that if I knew that I wouldn't be able to have children, that if I was the cause, that I wouldn't know what to do with myself, because it's something that I'd always thought about being was a father. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I never knew my father. What I know of him is a name and a picture and a photo album. But needless to say, I wanted to be more of a father than what I had known up until that point. Regardless, we knew we couldn't have children at that point, so we looked into adoption. And in Pennsylvania, there's something called the Statewide Adoption Network, or SWAN, and you go on it, and there's seemingly endless photos of children and teens looking for their forever home. And that motivated us to work with our local county government office, where we became foster parents. We ended up taking in foster children, eventually having 9 altogether. We were part of a foster to adopt program. We ended up, out of those 9 children, adopting 2 beautiful boys, both with diagnosed needs of varying sorts. I've not always been the father I envisioned when I was younger. I've lost my temper. I've said I was too tired to play. I've forgotten important events, and I haven't kept all of my promises. And up until the last week, I hadn't seen my boys in 2 years, after my younger son and I had a bit of a falling out. I divorced their mother 6 years ago, not knowing that I was divorcing them in the process, thinking that if I allowed them to go with her without putting up a fight, it would be for the best, because she cared for them, cares for them, and that's what they needed more than what they needed from me. And I realized that I'm wrong. Well, I was wrong. They lived more than 20 hours away from me for the last 5 or 6 years, and it's time for me to change that. We've started to become closer again through YouTube videos and listening to what I consider to be awful music. And I've been more of an avatar than I have been a father. But that's not going to be our story. I'm not going to be the picture in a photo album. I'm going to be their father. Thank you.